Guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Gift and you are welcome to Gift and Couture. So in today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to draft a knicker, alright, with Ankara fabric. But if this is your first time of stopping by, kindly click on the subscription button so you can always get notification whenever I post a video, and so that YouTube can always recommend my videos. Please don't forget to click on like button. Okay, thank you. This is the measurement you'll be needing are your waist, all right, your hips measurement. This one is going to be divided by 4. Your hip measurement divided by 4. Your crotch depth, all right, which is going to be divided by 2. Your thigh measurement, sorry about the crotch, thigh measurement, sorry, divided by 2. All right, it's your crotch measurement, the length of your crotch, that's what you are going to use. So let's get started. So this is my Ankara fabric that I want to use. I'll still use this to sew corset top. All right, I know I've done corset top, I've done the practical, I've done the theory aspect of it. I've not done the practical, so I'm still going to use this because this is 6 yards, and when I look at it, it has 2 different patterns, so I'll be mixing it. Please don't forget to subscribe, all right, if this is your first time. So let's get started. The length of my knicker that I want is 20 inches. All right, so because I'm going to use band, I'll be removing 2 inches, which serves as the band. So the length of my hip depth, I'm going to use 8 inches. All right, so please, before we continue, in order for you not to waste your fabric, just divide your thigh by 2, all right, and measure it. Okay, thank God this one is correct. Instead of wasting your fabric, so whatever you have, you cut it on fold. All right, so just like this. So let's continue. So from here I'll measure, this is my hip depth, and the next measurement is going to be my thigh measurement, like my crotch. All right, this is it, 2 inches. So my crotch length, this my crotch length is where I'm going to put my thigh measurement. All right, so now this is the length, this is where I want the trouser to stop, 20 inches. All right, and I'm going to put 2 inches as the folding allowance. So the next thing I'm going to do is to remove my dart 1 inch from the side, because I don't want the front to have that. All right, and I will connect it to my hip measurement. All right, it will stop there. So I'll go ahead to measure, divide my waist. Like I said, you divide your waist into 2, just like this. Sorry guys. So let's continue. So my waist is 28, so I'm going to divide it by 2 and add, this is it, 28 divided by 4. Guys, I'm sorry, 4 divided by, this is what you get, this 8, this 7 rather, and then you add 1.5. The 1.5 inches covers for the sewing. All right, the seam allowance is just for the waist. Okay, I usually add this so that it helps me to sew my jumpsuit very well. All right, so don't worry, I'll show you how to cut jumpsuit very. So my thigh is 36 now, but because I don't want it's a knicker and I don't want it to be too firm, and beside there will be pockets, so I'm making, instead of 9, I'm adding 1 to it, making 10. All right, for my thigh, this is it, and then you connect it. My thigh is 24. Actually remove 1, so the 1 inch I remove 1. You know, when I divide my thigh into 2, it's going to give me 12, so I remove 1 from it, so the 1 will be added. The reason I did that is that so that the front will not be bulging and it will fit in very well. All right, so let's continue. So whatever I have here, I'll bring it down here, which is 11. Hope you are seeing. So, and then I'll connect it together. So I'm going to cut it out now. Don't worry. Okay. So, and let's cut the that measurement out too. Don't worry. We are going to sew. So I'm folding this one, the 2 inches here. You make sure you notch it, because the reason I'm doing this is because if you cut it like this, it's not going to fit in very well when you are sewing it. So let's, and then I'll use my iron turning with salt. Iron is very well. So I'm just going to take like um 1 inch on both sides, just like you see me doing, and then connect. So the front is ready. All right, just like I did here, I'm going to cut this one, notch it rather. So I've gone ahead to fold the back. All right, the only thing I did was to add 3.5 inches all the way down. All right. The iron is steaming. So the reason I it's supposed to be 2.5 inches because of the sewing of the thigh, but because I removed 1 inch before, I had to add it together. All right. So I'm going now. The back is going to be 3.5. All right. So when you come to the hips, this is, I actually removed 2 inches. This is the 8 inches is my hip length. So I'm going to add 2 inches or 1.5 here. Remember, we've already added what's it called, a sewing allowance, which is 1.5, so it's still here. So the only thing you're going to do is just to connect. Let me use my, just connect this to your, remember there is no zip allowance in the front again, and you're not just going to connect only, you're going to raise it up for the back by 1 inch. All right, and then you connect it to align with this side. All right, so as you connect it, and then when you come to the back, you bring it down by 2 inches all the way down, depending on how free you want it, but mine, I don't really want it too tight. Okay, so I'm going to add 1 inch for the dart, for the back dart, and I'm going to divide my bust span into two and just put 3 and share the dart here. All right, hope you are getting it. So the 1 inch here, I'm not going to cut it out, so I'm going to turn it to that, because the more you give that, like the way we did and we notch, let's cut this. Cutting the knicker just like the way it is, so don't go yet. So we are going to cut pocket. All right, So the length of the pocket is going to be now. So I'm going to measure 2 inches. Let me remove the back. I'm going to measure 2 inches and then connect and measure 9 inch as the pocket depth. From here, I'll connect it to this point. Don't forget, we are not cutting this out. Please do not cut it out. So I went ahead to use my iron. You can see I'm not going to cut it out. I'm not cutting it out. It's still there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut my fabric here, which I'm going to use as the pocket line. So I'm going to measure, cut the length of the pocket is going to be 10, while the width is, this is 10. Alright, and while the width is 6.5 for female, while for male is 7, and the length is 14. So if you're interested in learning male how to sew, the next thing I'm going to do is to open my pocket. Don't forget, let's notch it, let's iron so that we can get the ghetto. I'm going to open it now, just like this. I will open it down and then allow it and face it positive to positive. Alright, just like this. So I'm going to open this up, just like this. So I'm going to iron this one down, just like I did. So this is what I'm going to, I notch it. So I'm cutting this one out. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to cut this one out. Alright, I'm not cutting the knicker, the front. I'm cutting the pocket out. So don't worry, I'm going to show you how to sew it step by step. Please don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to give me a like. Thank you. So this is for the pocket side. Now we are going to go into sewing the zipper fly now. So I've gone ahead to cut my zipper fly. This is what I'm going to use. For those of us that don't know how to cut it and how you are going to cut it, you can even cut it together with the fabric, but in today's tutorial I cut it separately. So for those of us that don't know how to cut it, just take a piece of your fabric, put it under and place the main front like this, just like you see me doing. All right, and then you measure 2 inches. I hope you are getting it. You measure in 5.5 is what I'm using, and then measure 2 inches all the way, all right, to this 5.5, and then connect it like this. Follow this shape. You can see it's out here. Look at it. You can see it's out here. All right, then you can cut it out, because that's what I did. So this is it. Yeah, you're going to cut 2 of this, all right, just like you see me do. And then when you are sewing it, you're going to sew, you know, actually marked 5 here, but don't worry, we are going to sew it together.